What's up, everyone? Joe with ECRM at our Vitamin, Weight Management, and Sports Nutrition session in Florida. And with me is Yvonne from NIQ. Just gave a great presentation all about GLP-1 users and their impact on retail. And one of the things we're going to talk about right now is how GLP-1 users are shopping the stores differently, what they're buying more of, what they're buying less of. So thanks for joining us, and give an overview of what's happening with the GLP-1 user. How are they shopping differently?
Yeah, so initially when users start taking GLP-1, we're actually seeing that they're driving a growth in volume sales or unit sales in the stores. And that is due to them shifting away from dining out and, purchasing from stores to, for food at home. And then over time, though, their purchasing starts to decrease due to the suppression of their appetite, right? So then what we're seeing is people who have been on the medication for 7 or more months start to actually drive a decrease in sales at stores. Specifically, people with diabetes and that are using GLP-1 are accounting for a 4% decrease in the number of units sold at the store. Okay. And then the people with or using GLP-1s for weight management are actually accounting for a larger decrease, about 14% decrease in sales at stores.
I'm curious as to why that's happening. And my guess is obviously their appetite is down, so they're not as hungry, and it's interesting that they are dining out less. But also the weight management ones, they seem to be a little more focused on the nutrition and the food side than compared to the ones that are taking GLP-1s for diabetes. Yep. Would that be correct to assume?
Yeah. And I mean, we're seeing actually both groups are purchasing a lot less of items in the deli department and the bakery department. For example, those are the most noticeable decreases or departments within the store that saw a decrease, especially compared to those who are not using GLP-1s at all. But overall, what we're seeing is that users of GLP-1s that are using it to treat diabetes, while there's a decrease, it's not as large or impactful as the decrease that we're seeing from people who are using GLP-1s for weight management.
Okay, and what are the categories that subgroup, the weight management ones, what are they avoiding?
Yeah, so in addition to avoiding bakery and deli, they're avoiding cookies and crackers and salty snacks. Though we are seeing decreases of sales or decreases of units sold of these categories, there are actually pockets or segments within these categories that are actually growing due to GLP-1s looking for snacks that are high in protein. A perfect example is the salty snacks category is slowing down, but meat snacks have tripled in sales.
Okay, and yeah, that fits along with their new diet, their new regimens, and what's growing. So now there are some segments or some categories that are actually growing now because of GLP-1 use. Can you dig into some of those?
Yeah, what we're seeing is that a lot of categories in the diet and nutrition and beverage enhancement spaces are growing significantly. Within diet and nutrition, for example, you've got the nutrition powders and shakes that are seeing a ton of growth, especially the ones that have high protein.
And then I know here at the session, we're starting to see a lot of the nutritional supplement companies are tailoring their offerings to the GLP-1 consumer. Like they're coming out with stuff to address the GI issues they may have, skin issues they may have, and the protein like you just mentioned. And then some are putting unique kind of sets together where it's like a GLP-1 user set of products, which I think is very helpful for retailers.
Yeah, that's great, and that's a great way to adapt and pivot for the brands to make sure that they're putting products out there for the consumers and to address the consumers' various needs that are associated with the usage of GLP-1.
So for retailers, I think it's really important to understand their consumers and which ones are part of this market, and this way they can kind of tailor their offerings. And I know you guys did bring up in your presentation earlier that there are some retailers that are actively putting together wellness plans that might incorporate some of these things together, right? the nutritional supplementation, maybe programs around weight loss. What are some of your thoughts or recommendations for retailers in addressing this market?
Yeah, I think it's important for retailers to make sure that they know who their consumers are and that they're making the right products or the products that their consumers need available in their stores. For example, we know, or our data shows that the households with diabetes or using GLP-1 to treat diabetes are actually driving an increase in units sold in the drugstore channel. So really like 6% growth in stores like Walgreens and CVS and Rite Aid. So that's fantastic. So my recommendation would be make sure that we know who's coming through our stores and making the right products available.
And education, right? Educational component. Let them know, hey, if you're using GLP-1s, we have these support available, we have products available, we have the right food available. So just kind of bringing it more to their attention.
That's correct.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for the presentation. And if you guys want to learn more, we will be posting the slide deck from the presentation and some additional information on the ECRM blog.
Thanks
Thanks
Joe.
again.